Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. I'm Ali, Game Project Manager at Tapas Games. I'm also in charge of developing our in-house market intelligence system. I'm really glad to be a part of the Hyper Games conference, and I hope the session would be really useful for all of you guys. I'm going to talk about using artificial intelligence in market analysis, and to be more exact, we're going to discuss how we can back up our ideation process with text processing. Giving you a structure of what we are going to talk about, I'm going to introduce Tapas. Then we are going to discuss production and ideation challenges that we have faced as a development team. Then we are going to look at some of the solutions on the market for ideation, which one of the main ones is gaming trends. Then we are going to talk about word analysis, see how we do analyze words, how we do text processing, and how we can find out about trends on the market with these words. Then we are going to see some examples of doing the ideation based on our word analysis. And then you can come up with any questions you do have. Tapas is a hyper casual development house which is backed by MGI, Media and Games Invest. We do have a really fantastic team that can produce at high speed with quality. And we have tried to back the ideation process and help them with the ideas that are popping out of our market intelligence system with spotting trends on the social media, on the game market, and also find high potential terms and words that are being saw in the market. All right, these are some of our games, probably 1/10 of what we have developed. You may have seen some of them on the market. We haven't published any games yet, but as a heads up, you will hear from us really soon. All right. So the ultimate goal for all the development teams is making a hit. We actually want to have a replicable procedure and repeat making hits in Tapas. But that's the ultimate goal. To do that, every development team has an approach. Most of the teams know that they should go with the test and prototype approach. So you need to prototype and test those prototypes. Nothing else is there on the market that can help other than testing. But there is a challenge there. Challenge is to maximize the success rate from prototypes to hits. And this conversion rate can be the holy grail. So if you have 100% success rate, then you have met the holy grail there. Actually, this word is coming from my manager, so sorry if I don't know how to use it there, but he just made me put it there. So the key to making good prototypes that have high success rates is the ideation. There are different methods, as I mentioned, but what we are doing in Tapas is backing it up and helping the ideation process with good insights from our market analysis. I'm not going to jump directly to the market analysis. We are going to see some of the ideation methods first of all, and then we'll dive in and see how market analysis helps there. As you can see, there are different methods to ideate for games. One, which you can see a bunch of games related to it right now, is based on popular movies. You can find a lot of games related to a Squid Game on the market, which many of them have also topped the charts. Other than that, you can ideate based on social networks. 100 mystery buttons and streamer life are examples of this one. And the third one that I've written here is gaming market trends, which is actually a popular one as well. But the main challenge and question is that how we can spot those trends. There are a lot of other ways to do this, but these are the main one right now on the market, and that's why I have mentioned these. All right, there are different ways to spot trends on the market. One is the classic way of testing everything. Publishers use it. It's really accurate. It's it works very well. You can know about mechanics, gameplay, control, themes, colors, art, everything with the numbers that are highly accurate and exact. But it needs a lot of money, so it's not affordable for most of the development teams. But there are two other methods that you can find the trends and spot trends on the market based on that. And you just need to pay for the data you use. So I will dive into this and tell you how you can just find those data, but let's get to know these methods better first. Based on change of rankings. So if the concept behind it is that if you see a game that is having increase of rank several days in a row, then this means the game has potential. As you can see in this screenshot, it's from Game Analytics, first of all, and their approach is exactly similar. So if they see that the game is having increase of rank in 7 days in a row, then they will count it as trending up. Similar thing for trending down games. The other method is word analysis. So for word analysis, what I can mention first of all is that it can be used for anything that has a text. So you can use it for social networks as well. And also you can use it in the gaming market. Give it 4 or 5 seconds and think of what your data source would be. So as I was saying, it's texts. So in social networks, it's pretty simple. There is a video there in TikTok, in Facebook, and Instagram, and whatever. And there is a caption about it which describes that video. So you have a really good source in the type of text to use here. Also for games and in the gaming market, uh, each game has a description and also a title which will define that game very well. And you can use that as a data source. To prepare these kind of data, you need probably access to some platforms like Apani or Aptopia, which provide APIs and you can use to get the description and title of the games. All right, let's start. So just to do a review, we are going to use the words to ideate. And this is something combined and mixed between the ideation methods, market trends, and the words itself. So if you have the experience, then you can use the words to help each section separately and come up with a good idea. This also needs the experience to see which word can be used where, because sometimes, uh, like if I want to give you an example, think of a creative you want to use as an ad, and you have saw a word that is trending, and you can use it as a theme of the game. So that creative can work better because that kind of theme that has rise from the word uh, is trending right now. But let's get back to how words talk. So in statistics, there is a parameter, a metric which we can use to see which words are more uh, informative and more important to us. And that's term occurrence or term frequency. So if you see, let me define term occurrence first. The number of times a word has appeared in a text is called term occurrence. Simple as it looked like. How that can be informative. So you have a context, a word is happening a lot. That means that this word is important. This word has something in it that other words doesn't have in that special context. So by defining term occurrence, you probably have this question in mind that, all right, there are a lot of words that aren't like that, like the, are, is, and verbs like that aren't informative at all and they don't give you insight on anything. They aren't insightful. So these are called stop words and they happen a lot in a context, in any context actually, and any possible text, but they don't give you any information about anything. So you just need to eliminate and remove those words. There are a bunch of lists about stop words which you can use for that. So we know that if a word happens a lot, that means this word is important. Now let's look at it as a trend spotting method. We call something a trend in a period of time. So we need to add the parameter of time here right now and compare the term occurrence of a word in a specific time to some time in the past and see if the trend is rising or if the word is trending down. So we also need to compare the words with their term occurrence in a specific time in past to find out about the trends. I will discuss more on the example we have for that one, so you can just understand it better. We also have different charts we can use, and they will give us different insights. What do I mean by that? If you find words that are trending in the game top charts, then it means it's a current trend. The word is trending right now. So you can just calculate it. You can use it in your game or anything, but you should count on it as a past trend. We can also use the subcategories like racing, adventure, or whatever. And what we see if we find a word trending there is a future trend. That means it will pop up in the main chart in a week or two. So you are ahead of market already. Or if it doesn't happen like that, then you have find a high potential word that is coming from other genres or other kind of games like casual and mid-core games, and you can just make a hyper casual game with that word. All right, as you can see in the example, this is from our weekly analysis on July 8th. As you can see, we have a column of the words. We do have a column that indicates the number of time this word is happening on July 8th. And we do have a column that is indicating how many times this word has occurred in the game descriptions in the past week, which will be July 1st. And we do have a column that just calculates the difference between those. So in the difference column, whatever is showing a positive number means the word is rising. And if you sort that, you will have the top trends, the words that are the top trends on that special category you have got the data from. So this one is from the GameStop chart, as you can see. and you can see the words trading, fidgets, and trade highlighted there. These are the ones that were related to fidget toys, which were popular at that time and they were trending. We also have the word tape, which was related to superpower games uh, with tapes, with ropes, with dogs, and like that. How do we make that word matrix you saw in the previous slide? First of all, you need to prepare your data. As I mentioned, our data would be the title and description of games in the top charts, and you can uh, fetch them from APIs from like Aptopia or Apani. These are the platforms I know that provide these data. Then you need to do text pre-processing. You need to remove anything unuseful, which are numbers, punctuation marks, and stop words, which I mentioned earlier. And then what we do, which is special and helps the process a lot, is part of speech tagging. I use Stanford Post Tagger for that. And what happens here is that there are different kind and part of speeches that aren't useful in the text, like adverbs and adjectives. Giving you an example, think of the adjective good or excellent. You cannot build any game around it. So you don't need it. You just eliminate the word there and you don't bring it in your matrix. Only verbs and nouns are the ones that are insightful for us. To be more exact, I found that nouns would be also enough for it, and they give the most insight to us. And then you just need to count the thermal occurrences and make the list. If you want to have something similar to the previous slide, you need to calculate the difference between today or past week. Something between those time periods, 6, 7 days, is a good time period to use and see if something is trending or not. Less than that, you won't get a lot of insight, and more than that, you will find things that aren't useful at all. All right, how do we do ideation in Tapas based on our word matrix? This one is from our weekly analysis on May 7th. As you can see, there are some insightful words in the matrix that are highlighted by those really cool pink circles. This one to mention is from the racing category. So the word matrix is for the racing games only. And as you can see, I've highlighted two of them, parking and ship. These were the ones that uh, were interesting to our team, and we just made a game around it. So park ship was made like that. Um, Parking was trending, ship also. So at the time, also the steering wheel mechanic and control were really trendy. So we just came up with this idea. The mechanic would be the parking, the main vehicle would be a ship, and we use the steering wheel as the control. As you can see, the CPI was 50 cents on TikTok, not publishable, as you know, but wasn't bad. All right. Does this approach work at all? Can we find something that helps the ideation really? This one, the chart you see is from our weekly analysis on June 3rd, 2021. As you can see, we spotted words Godzilla and Kaiju showing growth on the market. And to us, these rare words were like, how can we make a hyper casual game around it? As you know, the themes in the hyper casual market are mostly colorful and cheerful, and it's pretty hard to come up with a game with a kaiju or Godzilla in it. But on June 18th, Kaiju Run was published by Homa Games and topped the charts. This is the images from our weekly analysis on June 25th. As you can see, I think the game is still on the market. They did something new. They made a game with characters that we don't usually use in hyper casual games, and it worked very well. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Um, as I said, I hope this session would be really useful for all of you, and you can come up with your own market intelligence system and board analysis to help your ideation. You can write us at games@tapasgames.io anytime you want, and we'll reply as soon as possible. And please come up with any questions you do have.